Hey, yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, Manny, and I'm coming to you live from the Manny J Media headquarters here in Elm Park in Worcester, Massachusetts. And I'm here with the one, the only, my dear friend, and one of my biggest supporters, Miss Karina Roman-Wallace. So good to have you here with me today. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and you?
I'm good, thank you. You know, I just wanted to start off today's show by giving a huge shout out to something something really important that is happening, that is coming up. And I'm not sure why it starts now, but whatever. Sunday is actually the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. And I think that's so amazing, so important. And we're really trying hard here at Manny J Media to honor that and to celebrate by having a lot of Hispanics from the Worcester community come on the show and talk about themselves. And it's no coincidence that you happen to be Hispanic. So I want just to start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself and, you know, maybe your heritage.
Sure. So I was born in Argentina. I came to Boston when I was 6, and I grew up there. I went to high school there, a little bit of college, and then I met my husband, who's from Worcester. So I moved to Worcester, so I've been in Worcester for 18 years.
Excellent. So I'm glad that you're here all the way from Argentina, and you are a mom as well, so you do have children. And I think it's really important that we talk about Hispanic heritage and how it is brought into the American culture and how it brightens and uplifts and makes it even more beautiful as the community, the culture that we are as Americans. So is there a lot of heritage that you brought from, a lot of culture that you brought from your own heritage in Argentina to your children?
I did. I have. I'm trying for my teenager to learn Spanish.
Yeah, that's the hardest.
I don't know.
I'm 40 years old and I still barely speak Spanish. It's one of my biggest roadblocks. Like, how many times I go out and I speak to people who don't speak English, and I'm like, maybe you should know this.
Luckily, his middle school is giving him Spanish classes, so
nice.
Now he's like, I have to learn it.
Yeah, he's grasping it.
The food, of course. I try to cook some food from Argentina, like milanesas.
What's that?
They're like,
I don't know what it is, but it sounds good. Yeah? Yeah.
It's chicken breast. You dip it in egg and breadcrumbs and fry it. And you eat it with rice. We eat rice too.
Nice.
Empanadas.
Okay, now I know what those are.
Yep, and you know, champanadas from Argentina, so they do the empanadas.
Shout out to Champanadas. They don't sponsor us, but shout out. You need to go there in Kelly Square in Worcester. I'm telling you, yes, John.
We will accept their sponsorship.
We will absolutely accept their sponsorship.
And Lincoln Street.
And they're on Lincoln Street now. That's right. Right underneath the sports bar. Yeah, it's right next to McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Champanadas.
So there's goodies there, candies, chocolates from Argentina too. I also, a big culture part is we drink mate.
Yeah.
It's like a little cup, and you put the tea in it, and you drink it like socially with friends.
Oh, nice.
It's
a little tea time.
Yeah, it's actually more stronger than coffee, so it gives.
So it gives you a little bit of a.
Yeah.
A little bit of afternoon pick me up. That's nice.
So that's huge. That's huge in Argentina. They drink mate like the whole day.
I gotta ask you because I'm very superficial, and a lot of my cultural knowledge and heritage knowledge comes from movies and stuff. So I don't know if you know where I'm going with this. Evita.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies, honestly, I watched it in Spanish class. So yes, I had Spanish class, and yes, I still can't speak Spanish, but I can understand Spanish thanks to Spanish class. But anyway, I watched it in Spanish class when I was in high school, and I was dreading that day. Like, I did not want to watch this stupid movie. I watched it. It was a fantastic movie. I'm just curious how things have gone since that period to currently,
just
if you're aware?
like politics.
Politically, yeah.
Yeah, I try to stay away from that.
Smart move.
Argentina.
But
They just
Argentina
have
as a
their-
whole, is it
Yeah,
better than it was? Is
I
it-
mean, my family decided to leave poor and there's a lot of corruption.
Yeah.
They have got better. I know they have a new president. I do not know about this president, but I've heard stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing in Argentina is Messi, soccer.
Yeah.
He's like almost the number one.
He's the
soccer player.
international superstar,
Yes.
for sure. And I don't even watch soccer, but I know who Messi is because he's an international superstar.
Yeah, and my son loves soccer, so I'm hoping he'll be the
He'll be a
next
future Messi.
Yeah.
Imagine. Hey, listen, aim high. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So, all right. Thank you for filling us in a little bit about Argentina. And one more point is that I want to just put up, given the political race, presidential race, there's a lot of talk about immigrants lately. And I just want to say, if it weren't for America's beautiful immigration policy, all right, they're very messy immigration policies, but the fact that anyone can come here, especially escaping political mess like Argentina, to be able to come here and just live peacefully and raise a family, I think it's such a beautiful thing. And it's people like us who come, well, I mean, I'm from Puerto Rico, so I guess I'm not really an immigrant, you know what I mean? Well, I'm from Worcester, but, my culture-wise, my heritage-wise, people come here not necessarily looking to burn the country, and you know what I'm saying?
We look for opportunities and freedoms. Some other countries they escape from violence, poverty.
Yeah.
It's really about the opportunities that America has to offer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. All right, enough about Argentina. Let's talk about you. So you actually wanted to come in today. You reached out to me because you do pay attention to Mary J Media, which warms my heart so much. I appreciate it every minute and every single person who tunes in and supports us. We appreciate you so much. And you have been one of those people from the very beginning. And you really wanted to come in and talk to our audience about financial literacy and maybe building a pathway out of poverty.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So, low income and people of color, we don't get taught about finances, about investing, about saving. Even not people of color, everyone, we don't get taught about the importance of it in schools.
Yeah, it's not really big in our curriculum, and if it is, it's something glossed over. And with teenagers that aren't paying attention, you can't just gloss over things.
Yeah, so, wow, man, I'm 40.
Yeah.
I just got life insurance. I own a home, I'm married, and I have a kid. I don't know why I waited this long. No, I do know why. It's because nobody taught me the importance of life insurance, the importance of saving, the importance of having an emergency fund.
Yeah.
At least 6 months to cover your income if something happened to you. The importance of investing your money.
So let's break those down one by
Sure.
one. Let's start with life insurance. What is the importance of me having life insurance? Because to be honest with you, I mean, it's not one of the first things on my mind because, I'm 40, but I don't feel like I need to worry about dying anytime soon because I'm still technically kind of young, right?
Yep. So accidents happen, things like car accidents or things that we don't see.
Yeah.
So my question to you would be, if something was to happen to you, Wanda, if you're watching, she's your mom.
Yeah.
Or whoever is
She would die.
I know.
Yeah.
Whoever's
No mother wants to
involved,
watch their kid die, right?
whoever's
For everything
involved
else.
and closest to you, do they have at least like 20,000
No.
to
No.
marry you
Yeah.
and do the services?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's why you do life insurance.
Okay. So I need life insurance to make sure that my family is protected for if anything happens.
To cover you for the funeral costs.
Yeah.
Another part of life insurance is, for example, if something was to happen to me, my husband and my child depend on my income.
Yeah.
so life insurance can give you more money to cover the house cost.
Okay.
Like if I die, I leave the remaining of what my house, what I owe to my husband, and that's a big burden for him. So my life insurance,
So basically, his cost just doubled.
yes.
You know.
It's really just to make sure, like, dude, I'm tired of seeing GoFundMes. Why are you asking complete strangers at the worst time of your life for money to bury your loved
I
one?
think it's wild. Like, I think there should be more GoFundMes for people that are alive, but the only time I ever see them is when somebody dies. I'm serious. Like, why aren't we GoFunding more projects and more advancement of individuals than we are funerals? It's the wildest thing to me.
So if you do go with life insurance, you are already covered, your property protected in case something happens. And for example, if you wanted to be covered and you only want to be covered just for funeral costs, it's $25-30. So it's a small payment, but you'll feel secure not to leave the burden to your mother or to your loved ones, not for them to go through the GoFundMe process and us guys who don't have money to bury, you know, like, so it's so important. What's the other one? Savings.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were going to talk more about the life insurance, but yeah. So
yeah, that's just the basics, pretty much,
Okay, so you want to make sure that you're secure, and make sure that your family's secure.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next step would be to make sure that your finances are secure. And so part of that is through savings, or maybe the first step you should take is opening a savings account.
No, so So, bank savings account is good. The interest in it is very low. So you want to, to something that the interest is high. But the whole point of savings is you want to build an emergency fund up to 6 months in case something happens to you, in case you lose your job, in case something unforeseen happens. You have 6 months of income to cover your costs, your bills, your rent. If you don't have those savings in place, you're screwed.
Okay, so how would I know what that savings total would be? Because I want to be able to multiply it by 6, right?
Exactly.
So do I budget all of my bills, my rent, my card note, my phone bill, budget all that out, see what that total is, and then I want to basically multiply that by 6. So if it's $5,000 a month, we want to try to save $30,000, make sure that we're covered for that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some people can do 3 months, but
why is it important? Sorry, I was going to say why it's important that we do 6 months, but I think you're about to explain that. But
it's just 3 months is short. Sometimes it takes a long time to find a job.
Yeah.
So if you run through those 3 months of savings, you're screwed again.
Right.
6 months is just like a longer period, and you just feel more secure, and you have plenty of time to find another job, interviews, keep paying your car, keep paying your rent,
So give me some tips on saving, because I'm going to be honest with you. I've tried to save. As a matter of fact, I stopped today trying to save. But then something comes up, right? Like, no matter what it is, life comes and wants to, smack me across the head, and I have to dip into my savings and end up paying something where I never end up saving. So I can't even imagine $30,000.
So one thing that you can do, which I have a weakness, stop going out to,
Okay.
or whatever your passion or hobbies are, that you spend a lot of extra money shopping or buying sneakers, like whatever.
So make sacrifices.
Yes.
Yeah.
My
So instead of that
husband.
$250 pair of Jordans, get a $100 pair of Forces and put that other $150 in the bank.
Yes.
Okay, I'm figuring it out. I'm getting it.
My husband yells at me. Well, he doesn't yell, but he's like, we don't have to go. Why? I love food.
Yeah, I love it. It makes me happy.
That's one tip. Another tip in what I do is to make sure you have savings maybe in multiple sources. So for example, I have a savings account in my bank. It doesn't yield any interest or anything because it's low, but that's one source of savings. So I put $25 a month in there, like with no, I don't know what the word is. Like it's mandatory.
Right. It's there. There's no compromise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have another savings which kind of yields and has a more higher interest rate,
Okay.
and I cannot access it like a bank. It's like an online account. So if I wanted to access and have the money, it takes 3 days. So I kind of don't even pull out from it. Another $25 goes in there. And guys, if you make more money, you can,
The more money you make, the more you can put
Exactly,
in if
exactly.
that's something you choose to do.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you make more, you should put in more, right?
Yeah, so just little things like that, and it adds up every month.
Okay.
So you have savings from different sources, and it should build up every month.
Right.
Because you're not compromising, you keep putting that 25, whatever your amount that
I like that idea of the bank account that it takes 3 days to take it out, because then you're less likely to say, okay, and use it out of spur of the moment
Exactly.
cost. One, and two, the more I'm listening to, the more I'm thinking, if I just pretend like I just paid a bill with that $25 and that $25 is gone, I'm all right. Let me stop playing. I'm never gonna pretend like I lost money in that. Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard,
It's very.
but self-control, right?
Yeah.
What is your priority? Do you want to have savings in a huge amount somewhere? Or do you want to eat and buy and go shopping?
Right. And have.
It's just self-control, and actually you guys should make a list. What's your priority in your habits?
Yeah.
And the bad habits, that don't have self-control, just work at it. Like, guys, I love shopping.
Right.
I love going out to eat, like for lunch almost every day, every week, like
But
dinner.
instead of doing it every day, maybe once a week.
Exactly, just sacrifice it. Changing your habits that are not giving you success or
Absolutely. And so, what are some other ways that we could save?
I think that's about it for now.
Okay.
I can't think, I'm like blanking
It's
out
okay.
right
No,
now.
you're good.
There's other things that fall under the financial services umbrella, like
Okay.
wills and trusts.
Okay.
Like, do you guys have a will or
No.
a trust?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because I'm not ready to die. We just had this conversation under what was it, life insurance.
I know things can happen, natural disasters,
Yeah.
car accidents, shooting. Guys, there's shootings,
I know,
there's
it's terrible.
violence in our city, and we need to combat that.
Yeah.
But, things that we don't expect, like we don't expect to lose our loved ones. It just happens, like,
When you least expect it.
Exactly. So you just gotta make sure you have those things in place.
Okay. So tell me, what is a will?
A will,
And I mean, I think a lot of people. Let me step back for a second. I think a lot of people know what a will is. I don't think people really know what a trust is. Can you tell me a little bit about what they both are and what's the difference?
Okay, so just the basics, guys. Well, I'm gonna use myself an example. If I was to pass away, I want to have a will in place that states who's gonna get my house, who's gonna get my property, my car, whatever other property I own, and who's gonna have guardianship of my child.
Okay.
When putting a will in place is free, guys. So I think everybody should have this.
Oh,
But-
I actually didn't know that.
It's
I
free,
didn't pay
and
for
you just have to notarize it, which either you find a notarized person for free, or you just pay like a notarized, which is like $5-10 or something. If I don't have that will in place, it can get messy. Like, my husband would have to go to court and be like, I am married to her, like, this belongs to me, and things like that. Or like, if my family members wanted to fight for the care of my son, it would be a fight in court.
So basically, a will puts your wishes written down
Exactly.
so that your family that's left behind knows. I love knocking the mic down. Your family that it gives like a set of instructions on how you would like to see the things that you leave behind, whether it's your materials or your family, to be taken
Or how
care of.
you want to be buried. There's families fight about it all the time, cremation or buried. Like, if it states in your will, they have to go by that.
Right, which is actually a great idea, especially for, when I think of how I want to deal with my end of life procedure. Definitely don't want my family fighting over me and how I'm supposed
It
to,
happens a lot.
my body's treated and all that jazz. I also feel like funerals are one of the biggest scams. And it's so sad to see how much money is made in that industry based off of people's pain and, really vulnerable times in their lives. Because when you're dealing with someone in your family who passes away, all you want to do is make sure that you're honoring them and respecting their passing. So for me, and I'm not saying everybody, I'm not speaking for anyone else, but I know I would rather forego that whole funeral situation and have my family go on a trip. Use that same money and go somewhere, enjoy your time and picture me there with you in spirit. You know what I mean? Instead of sitting there bawling your eyes out in a funeral home that it doesn't make sense. Anyway. So I don't think my family would agree with me though, to be honest, because the funerals aren't about me, right? I mean, they kind of are, but they're more about the family coming together, having a chance to grieve, right?
Exactly.
But if I don't want them to do that, I can say that in my will. That was my only point.
Exactly.
It was a long, drawn out point, but we got there. And we are also at our time where we're going to go thank our beautiful sponsors who we appreciate so much for allowing us to do this day in and day out. And I also want to thank you guys for hanging in there with us. We'll be right back.
Manny J Media is brought to you by
You're live.
Hey yo, welcome back everybody to Interviews with my good friend Karina Roman-Wallace. I know I was forgetting something.
I forget to.
Yeah, that's a Hispanic heritage thing, right? When you have more than one last name. I mean, it's probably not just Hispanic. I know there's other cultures around the world that have more than one name, but it's definitely prominent in the Latino culture. But anyway, I'm so happy that you came and joined us today. Welcome to the Manny J Media headquarters. And you came to talk about yourself a little bit, talk about your interests in financial literacy, and just talk about how things are in the community and in life. And so thank you so much for joining me. We're going to head back down the financial literacy road for just a few more moments before we head into some other things. So what else did you want to speak about in the financial literacy realm?
So my passion is the youth.
Okay.
So I am going to be starting financial literacy workshops for the youth because I want the youth to know this knowledge
Excellent.
so they can start young. So I am really, really excited and looking forward to collaborating with different organizations to host financially. And I'm changing financial literacy to financial empowerment.
Okay. Word.
So yeah,
I like that.
I know. Like I want to
much more
empower.
empowering, yeah. When I hear literacy, it's like, oh my god, I gotta read. I don't want to read. I don't want to
Exactly.
comprehend. I don't want to understand. Mainly because,
That word
who wants
throws
to do
off a lot of people. So I'm changing it to empowerment. So yeah, I'm in the works of doing one soon. And if you guys are interested in having a youth workshop, or even not youth, adults or individuals,
Okay.
I'll be there to help to educate families and individuals because we need to get this knowledge out there so we can do better.
Absolutely. And how can people get in touch with you if this is something that they're interested in?
You can call me 774-670-6746. You can email me wallacekarina1@gmail. If you are my friend already on Facebook, you can message me, text me.
Okay. And what does the time frame look like when these classes will be available?
The workshops, literally just, get in contact with me. I'll ask you, how many people are in the group where it'll be held, and I'm there. I'm very flexible. It's very important. It's one of my priorities. So it's very easy, simple.
All right. So if you're a program, say like an after-school program, or an organization or company who's looking to educate their students, their youth, or their employees about financial empowerment,
Yep.
all they gotta do is reach out to Karina, get her in there, and let's start having these conversations, because that's where it all starts. And we want to really invigorate the interest in making sure that we're all financially secure, because especially now, the way things are going with housing insecurity, food insecurity, clothing insecurity, there's so many insecurities that we're burdened with every day that really it's up to us to unburden ourselves. And how do we do that? And that's one of the things that you'll be bringing to these workshops. Do you have an idea of how often those might be happening? Or is it based on interest?
Yeah, it's based on interest. How it starts. If it gets to be like a high interest, maybe once a month. It's still the beginning stages. But I want to leave it off with the final piece of financial stuff, because I want to
Okay.
talk about what I do in my community.
Yes, absolutely.
If you guys have car insurance and phone insurance and any other insurance, I don't know why you're walking out of your house without insurance.
That's actually, well, I got an answer to that. I can tell you why. And because I do it. And the reason why is because car insurance, I don't have, no, we do have phone insurance, but that's because of the business. So yeah, I mean, I guess my personal phone, I don't. But car insurance, it's an obligation. Like legally, I have to have it. So that's why I do. I'm just saying. So, but I hear what you're saying, and it makes complete sense. Is why are we insuring everything else and not our own lives? Makes perfect sense. Especially for the betterment and security, future security of our families. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for bringing that insight today. But as you said, you want to talk a little bit about the community, which I see you all the time. Like, girl, I don't know when you sleep. I don't know when you just take a minute to yourself, especially being a mom. You're at every single event that I show up at. You're there. So I know community is very important to me. Tell me a little bit about you and this amazing community we're both part of.
So I love Worcester. I've been here for 18 years. I graduated from Worcester State. I know a lot of people and the different things that they do, and so when there's something popping up, I want to be there to support.
Yeah.
I was part of a parents group about like 15 years ago, and I was involved in a class of, trying to think of the title, empowering people, empowering communities, or something like that.
Okay.
And I graduated from that, and that led me to lead my neighborhood group,
Nice.
to actually form a neighborhood group down on Lincoln Street, and hold neighborhood meetings, and talk about the issues that we have down there.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff
And when you
happening
say
down
Lincoln
there.
Street,
Yeah.
that's North Worcester for people that aren't familiar.
Yes. I don't have like an exact line. In my mind, it's from like Hanover Insurance all the way to Lincoln Village,
I see.
in Graybook Valley, and all the homes around there,
Right.
which is a lot.
So even more so North Lincoln Street.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not so much the downtown.
No, there's another group down there. So yeah. And just we are noticing an increase of the unhoused,
Yeah.
of the mentally ill, of just, it's everywhere. It's
Yeah,
not
I'm
just
gonna be
Lincoln
honest
Street.
with you. I noticed that personally, I grew up in Greenwood Valley in the 90s when it was like the scary place to be in Worcester. I've never seen so many unhoused people like that I'm seeing now. It's literally an epidemic, and I don't have a problem with it personally. Like, I'm not put off by it or anything like that. You know, people are people, and I respect them, and I love them for who they are, and whatever circumstances they happen to be going through. All I'm saying is, growing up on that side, all the unhoused people that I was familiar with were in Maine South. I didn't see them up that end. So it's crazy, and from my own personal, what I see with my own eyes today, it's a lot more of an issue than it ever has been.
Just speaking on Worcester, because it is a nationwide issue, but Worcester, I think we can do better. I don't know why the R&B shelter had to be closed. When that closed, but when that closed, more people, came out of it because they don't have.
They don't have anywhere to go.
Exactly.
Where are you gonna go? If you're all here and I put you all out, just because I closed this doesn't mean you don't exist anymore, right? So you all have to.
Exactly. So just have something in place for them.
Yeah.
Because they don't have nowhere to go, so they're gonna be in the city.
Yeah. So let me ask you.
Yeah.
There is a proposal, John. I don't know if it's still being proposed or if we figured it out and it's happening now. I've been talking to the city manager quite a bit about, and that is the old
Oriole Drive.
Oriole. Yeah, the Oriole.
Yeah, it's coming.
So it's happening. I know there was a lot of pushback from the residents in that neighborhood, right? So what are your thoughts on that? And yeah, let's start there. What are your
Sure.
thoughts on that?
There was a lot of pushback in the beginning because this nonprofit came into our neighborhood without informing the residents, so that kind of got me upset.
So there was no involvement, communication with
At all.
the people who actually live there.
At all.
Yeah. And as you, a homeowner, right? You own your home, you pay taxes there, and I don't mean you pay taxes in the traditional sense, it's like income taxes, but you pay taxes on the property that your home is on.
So, after a little bit of the, hey, what's going on? We finally had a meeting with them, and that meeting was not for the residents. It was a really bad meeting, how it was planned. And regardless, it's coming to my neighborhood, right? So how can we work with them to make sure the unhoused and the mentally ill who are going to receive housing are going to be good citizens to our neighborhood, right? So there's two things. One, for the city, if we can't handle what's going down in Lincoln Street right now with 10, 20 people, how are we going to handle Lincoln Street when 90 more individuals plus come?
What are you expecting? That's what I want to know, because there's already 10 or 20 people there. I know what I see when they're outside, right? There's people who may be having afflictions with drugs, and they're suffering through whatever that they're dealing with in the moment of their drug use. There's people who are just trying to take a nap, right? Laying out on the sidewalk, just trying to take a nap, not bothering anybody, not doing a thing, right? There's people who are actively trying to get back up on their feet, right? They're trying to go get a job, whatever. There's people who are panhandling, right? I don't see those people as an inherent problem to my life, right? They're not bothering me. They're not hurting me. They're not doing anything to me that makes them a problem in my backyard, right? So what are you expecting with this place, which actually, in my mind, solves the problem, right? It gets a lot of those people, like the man that's just laying out on the sidewalk, gets them into an apartment where they can be safe, where they can be sheltered from the elements. Why is this a problem? Because this isn't only you. I have heard people, some of my friends included, because remember I grew up in the Valley and a lot of my friends still live in that neighborhood. They don't want that there. Why?
So there's always two ways to look at it, right? So one way is the nonprofit that is going to be managing the 90 plus people does not have another project this big.
What's the community housing resource?
Yes.
What's the community housing resource? Thanks, John.
Thanks.
I live in one of them buildings.
Okay. So I
So
know.
you're the reason why no one. Just kidding.
So, their other projects are like 20, 25 units.
Mine's 15.
Okay, yeah. So there's no track record of them having a success in managing a big project like this.
Yeah.
That's one perspective. Another perspective, just like you think and everybody else thinks, yes, these people need this service. They need housing,
You're
right?
gonna be off the street. Like that's amazing.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Even the ones who are afflicted by drugs, they can go over to the methadone clinic, get their services, and then go back home and not be out on the streets with that, right?
So,
However.
yes, however, those individuals that are causing actually chaos, which bothers me down on Lincoln Street, they're doing drugs and drinking alcohol in front of a school.
Yeah.
That's a no-no.
Right. Which, I mean, that one thing that's always been a little weird to me is Lincoln Street School, which is an elementary school, is literally next door to a methadone clinic. Is it still
And next to the
back there?
hotel.
In the hotel.
And the hotel,
Yeah.
which is going to be the residence, right, where you'll drive.
So yeah, the nonprofit didn't think about this location. Those individuals who are repeat offenders literally have block parties at McDonald's in the Lincoln liquor store every night. I don't think families should be driving by McDonald's, getting a Happy Meal, and seeing someone shoot up crack or inject heroin, or fights, or just that disorder.
Or the potential of an overdose, which is really, really
Yes.
scary because you're literally watching someone die until they revive. So I can't even imagine a child being able to process that. And we're not just talking about McDonald's. Again, we're talking about Lincoln Street School.
Yeah.
We're talking about families, Lincoln Plaza. There's so many things that that's a family-oriented area in the city.
I come from both of my family's addiction. I'm actually 2 years sober. So I understand the addiction, everything
Right.
in between.
And you have empathy for it.
Yes, thank you.
Completely.
And I know some of those people. I either give them some water or a hot meal or something. Those people that are causing the disorder and the chaos are refusing the services. So those people refuse the hotel service, which is having a house.
Right.
They're going to continue the issues.
Right. Because they want to do what they want to do.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, things like housing, things like the mental health assistance, things like that, there's a structure that you have to be involved in. And unfortunately, a lot of people who find themselves unhoused, and I'm not speaking for everyone, so please don't come for me, but a lot of people, in my experience, my own family members who chose to be unhoused, chose to be unhoused. They didn't want to be a part of whatever structure that kept them in.
Exactly. They're gonna have rules at the hotel. They're gonna have
And
curfew.
with that, they're gonna need.
They're gonna
Exactly.
Elliott Services. I forgot their name. Elliott is gonna be providing the
Elliott Rehabilitation.
yeah.
Elliott Rehabilitation.
They're gonna be providing the treatment services for these individuals. Is it mandatory? No. They're gonna be able to do whatever they want. So how is a nonprofit gonna manage 90 plus? My hope is that they will manage it successfully.
Right, you want them to.
90 people are gonna get housing and they're gonna become good citizens and
Bro,
they're gonna
wouldn't that be amazing?
success, they're gonna get sober, they're gonna be amazing neighbors.
Yeah,
That
would
is
be
my
beautiful.
hope.
Yes.
It's
But there's hope and then there's reality. And we can't expect across the board everybody to.
my also high expectation from this nonprofit is I hope we're gonna be helping Worcester individuals, our people. Because if we're gonna be helping people outside of Worcester, I think I have a problem because we have so many homeless people, unhoused people in Worcester.
Right here in our city.
Families living in cars with children.
I think those should be the first people that are considered.
It's not, it's only for individuals,
Oh.
family, it's not gonna be a family, permanent house project, it's only individuals.
So,
Yeah, so 90 plus.
I can see. Okay, so we do have to, unfortunately, we are running out of time. I think I might have you back. And I wanted to shout out, I'm looking down at my my live here, and I am seeing one person who has been on top of this as far as I know, as long as I've known. Shout out to my boy Joe Karsha. I actually went to school with him. Really excellent dude. Has a big heart for people, loves people, but also has a big concern for his own neighborhood, as do you.
Me and him created the neighborhood.
Oh, okay. So it's a small world. Yeah. You should have brought him with you. Maybe next time we can talk more about it. That'd be
Sure.
great. Because it is important, it is necessary, and I wanted to hit on a point where you have your hope, and then there's reality. And the reality is the people who live there, the people who pay taxes to own their homes, to raise their family, they can't be guaranteed security, right?
Even business owners, Denny's closed,
Yeah.
Walgreens closed, Stop and Shop is going, like.
Yeah, exactly. So, we do need security. Now, to be devil's advocate once again, because it's my favorite. I know, and I've talked to you about this before the show, so I'm not really outing you at all. But you're a huge lover of God. As am I. I think God is great, right? God is good every day, right? And then, are you Christian?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So when it comes to the Christian faith, I often think of Jesus. Now, I don't go to church every day. I'm not that educated in religion and everything. But on a basic level, I understand that Jesus loved everybody, right? Jesus loved the I guess
The proud, the
unhoused,
murderers, the
prostitutes,
sinners,
right, the
everybody.
sinners, thank you. My mind just got stuck for a second. Like, Manny, watch your mouth. But with that being said, and with how much you love your faith, why wouldn't you take that approach into the situation and knowing that I still gotta love my neighbors no matter how afflicted they are and make sure that we can uplift them and make them better?
Yep, I do love my neighbors. I pray for them. I really hope, and we're talking about the hotel project, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really hope, I actually should be praying about each 90 individual that
I mean,
they will get
that's a call there,
selected.
but
They will get selected and just take advantage of the opportunity
Yeah.
and in sobriety and treatment and just become a better person. That is my hope. We as Christians are taught to love the sinner, but don't love the sin. So
I can subscribe to that.
we are not judged. We shouldn't be judging nobody.
Right.
And so I love all my friends, family, like whoever. I love everybody. If you're doing something that is against God, I just don't. I don't. It just like I don't. No, I don't want to say accept. That's not for me.
Right.
I'm still gonna love you, but.
And I hope you change your ways, and I'll pray for you and all that stuff. But
Exactly,
I'm
yeah,
not
to
going
be
to be
part of
walking down that
that.
path.
Exactly, yeah. Like my friends invite me to the bar all the time to drink, and I'm like, nope, sorry. Oh, did you change? Blah blah. I'm like, I cannot be in a bar setting. I don't drink anymore. That's not my setting. I'm not going to be there. Never. Like, don't invite me.
Right. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't all have to do what others do, and that's the beauty of, especially where we live, is we have freedom of choice. And I love that too. And so I just wanted to thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. This was an excellent conversation.
Yep.
I want to continue the conversation about the North Lincoln neighborhood.
Yes.
I think it's very important. Maybe you can talk to Joe and see if
Sure.
it's something we'd be able to do. And even better than that, John, I don't know if you're down, we can take our cameras down and do a Student Kids down in the North Lincoln neighborhood. So we'll do this interview outside, right live from the neighborhood we're talking about. Maybe not Oriole Ave, but Oriole Drive, but somewhere in that neighborhood. So I just want to be respectful about it.
Okay.
But thank you so much. I had a blast with you. We are all out of time, so before we go, I would love for you just to let everybody know again how they can get in touch with you and how they might be able to help you in the community, but also take advantage of your resource of financial empowerment.
Exactly. So guys, yes, if you are in need of education for financial empowerment, please contact me at wallacekarina1@gmail. Call me or text me 774-670-6746. If you're an organization that wants to have a youth workshop or any workshop to teach others about financial empowerment, contact me. Neighborhood issues, contact me. I also sell Christian clothing.
Okay.
Contact me. I'll give you my
So if you want to go
website.
to church and get fly, make sure you hit up.
Exactly. This is actually one of them too. So yes, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
No, I thank you, and I thank you for all your support. You've always been a huge supporter of Manny J Media, and I couldn't appreciate you more. Actually, I can appreciate you more. I don't know. That didn't come out the way it was supposed to, but thank you so much. Karina Roman-Wallace. Finally, we got you down here, and we had an amazing conversation, and I hope to have you again, as I said. But until then, yes, John.
It's a free gerund
Oh, yeah.
Sunday night.
Listen.
What?
So, Sunday, what are you doing Sunday?
I don't know what is it.
Well, Sunday, we're having a very special event at Ralph's Rock Diner in Worcester. It is the free Dirty Jaren.
The Dirty Gerund Poetry Show documentary.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I was, you know what I got stuck on, John, was I couldn't remember the word documentary.
Yeah.
Not the rest of it. The Dirty Jaren Poetry Show documentary about the Dirty Jaren Poetry Show that happens at Ralph's Rock Diner every Monday. So we actually came together, John, Leanne, myself, and the Dirty Jaren crew, and we put a fantastic documentary together. We're going to be screening. Oh my God, you my words today. We're going to be screening this Sunday. What time, John?
It starts at 8:30.
Starting at 8:30 p.m. at Ralph's Rock Diner. So if you're available, I'd love for you to come down. If any of you guys are available, please come down.
And then tickets for the red carpet go on sale on Monday.
And there is going to be. Did we already announce it? I thought we were announcing it on Sunday.
We're gonna
All right.
stuff.
Tickets for the red carpet event are going to be going on sale on Monday. All right. We got it all in. And Hispanic Heritage Month. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Early. It starts Sunday, but you know. We're there. And tune in next week, Wednesday and Friday. We're going to be having some fantastic Latinos in the community come in and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with us. So there we are. Did you have fun?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Thank
With
you.
that being said, it's your boy Manny. And
Karina.
And Karina. And this is Manny J Media Interviews Community Connected. We'll see you real soon. Peace.